Hello everyone, today we're going to explore a very interesting topic, learning to live happily from the simplest things through Buddha's teachings. Happiness is something everyone desires. But we often search for it in distant places or through big, far-reaching goals. However, the truth is, happiness can come from the small and simple things in our everyday lives. And it was Buddha, with his deep wisdom, who taught us that happiness is not a destination, but a way of living, a way of embracing each moment of life. So, do you know that happiness can actually be found in those small, simple moments, in every breath and in the stillness of the heart? This is what Buddha wanted us to understand. That by simply changing how we see and approach life, we can find joy in the most ordinary things. Through short yet profound lessons, Buddha showed us ways to live simply, yet meaningfully. Each lesson is a key to unlocking lasting happiness and peace. Surely, if you apply these principles in your life, you will see a noticeable transformation. If you're looking for ways to live a happier life, to reduce anxiety and stress, and to find tranquility in your everyday life, then this video is for you. And don't forget, if you find these lessons helpful, leave a comment and share your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends so we can spread these beautiful values to everyone. In today's busy and chaotic world, sometimes we forget that happiness isn't something extravagant, it's a natural state, easily found in the simplest moments. Don't miss the upcoming insights we'll be sharing. Stay with us and let's discover the secrets to living happily from the simplest things, right in this video. Appreciating the present moment, living in every moment. Buddha taught that happiness comes from living fully in the present moment. Often, we are consumed by worries about the future or hold on to past sorrows, forgetting that life only exists in the present. The only time we truly have is now. And it is in this very moment that we can find peace and happiness. Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness, being aware and present with what is happening right here and now. The nature of present moment awareness. In the Buddhist tradition, mindfulness, or sati, is one of the core practices that leads to inner peace and enlightenment. Mindfulness is not merely about observing our thoughts, it is about bringing our awareness fully into the present moment. This involves paying attention to our actions, thoughts, and surroundings without judgment, and fully experiencing the sensations and emotions that arise in each moment. Buddha taught that when we live in the present, free from distractions and attachments, we can experience life in its purest form. We are often conditioned to think that happiness lies in achieving future goals or resolving past regrets. Yet, the Buddha teaches us that true happiness is not something that we will find once we reach a certain destination, but rather something we cultivate in each and every moment. This is why mindfulness and present moment awareness are central to Buddhist practice. The power of present moment practice. When we practice mindfulness, we are not only becoming more aware of the present moment but are also learning to embrace it. For example, when we are eating a meal, we should try to eat with full awareness. Instead of letting our minds wander to thoughts of work, family, or future worries, we should focus on the food in front of us, the colors, textures, tastes, and smells. By truly appreciating the food in that moment, we connect more deeply with our surroundings, and this simple act becomes a source of joy. Buddha's teachings urge us to be present with each sensation and each experience, no matter how simple it may seem. Similarly, in the morning, when we wake up, instead of rushing into the day with stress and worries, we can take a few moments to simply notice the world around us. The warmth of the sunlight, the sound of birds chirping, the feeling of the ground beneath us, these small moments, when appreciated fully, bring us back into alignment with the present and remind us of the interconnectedness of all things. It is in this mindfulness that we can find true peace. Buddha's words, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment, emphasize the importance of focusing on the here and now. We often dwell on the mistakes or regrets of the past, or we fantasize about a future that may never come. But this kind of thinking leads us away from the present moment, which is the only place where real peace and happiness can exist. The challenge of staying present. Despite the simplicity of this teaching, staying present can be incredibly challenging. In our modern world, distractions are everywhere. Our minds are constantly pulled in different directions, and it can feel impossible to quiet the constant flow of thoughts. When we are caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past, it becomes hard to simply be present with what is happening in our lives. However, the more we practice mindfulness, the easier it becomes to return to the present moment. The Buddha emphasized that mindfulness is like training a muscle. The more we practice, the stronger it becomes. It's important to start small, perhaps by focusing on one moment of the day, like a walk or a meal, and gradually build up from there. Over time, we can extend our mindfulness practice to all aspects of our lives, whether it's in our relationships, work, or self-care. When we allow ourselves to simply be present, we begin to notice the beauty in the small things around us. We begin to realize that happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but on how we engage with the present moment. Even in challenging situations, we can choose to focus on what is happening right now rather than letting our minds spiral into stress or anxiety. The freedom in letting go. A key aspect of living in the present moment is letting go of the attachments and expectations that often prevent us from experiencing true peace. Buddha taught that attachment is a root cause of suffering, and when we cling to thoughts about the past or future, we are trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. True freedom comes when we learn to let go of our attachment to outcomes and simply live fully in the present. This is not to say that we should abandon our responsibilities or stop planning for the future. It means that we should not allow these things to dominate our thoughts or take away our sense of peace. The Buddha encouraged us to live with intention and mindfulness in every action, but also with the awareness that nothing is permanent. Everything is constantly changing, and the more we accept this, the easier it becomes to let go of our attachments and embrace the fluidity of life. How to practice present moment awareness. If you want to begin living more fully in the present moment, start by incorporating small mindfulness practices into your daily routine. Here are some simple ways to start. Mindful breathing. Take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly, paying attention to the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. Mindful eating. As you eat, focus on the food in front of you. Pay attention to the textures, flavors, and smells, and appreciate the nourishment it provides. Mindful walking. Take a walk outside, paying attention to each step you take. Notice the feeling of your feet on the ground, the movement of your body, and the sounds around you. Gratitude practice. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what you are grateful for. Focus on the small things that brought you joy throughout the day, the smile of a loved one, a warm cup of tea, or the beauty of nature. Living in the present moment is one of the most powerful teachings of Buddha, and it is a key to finding lasting happiness and peace. When we stop chasing after future goals or clinging to past regrets, we open ourselves up to the beauty and joy that is already present in our lives. By practicing mindfulness and embracing the present moment, we can live more fully, experience life more deeply, and find true contentment. As Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think you become. So, by training the mind to stay present, we become more peaceful, joyful, and connected to the world around us. Inner peace, the key to happiness. One of the profound teachings that Buddha imparted is the concept of inner peace, or mental tranquility. Happiness, according to Buddhist philosophy, does not come from material possessions or external successes, but from the peace that resides within the mind. When our minds are not disturbed by anger, anxiety, or greed, we experience a natural sense of ease and freedom. This inner tranquility is the foundation of lasting happiness. Understanding inner peace in Buddhism. In Buddhism, The mind is considered the root of all experiences. Buddha taught that everything in our life, whether joy or suffering, originates from the mind. The mind shapes our reality. And the state of our mind determines how we experience the world. Therefore, achieving peace of mind is essential to living a fulfilling and joyful life. Buddha's teachings highlight the importance of cultivating a calm and peaceful mind to truly understand the nature of happiness. In the Dhammapada, one of the most well-known texts in Buddhist literature, it is said, "We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world." This reinforces the idea that our mental state directly influences our perception of life. If our minds are clouded with anger, fear, or jealousy, we see the world through a lens of negativity. But when we cultivate peace within, our outlook becomes clearer, and we can experience life with more contentment and equanimity. The obstacles to inner peace. To truly achieve peace of mind, we must first understand the obstacles that prevent it. According to Buddhist teachings, there are three primary defilements: greed, hatred, and delusion, that disturb the mind and keep us from experiencing inner peace. These defilements arise from our attachments and desires, and they create a constant sense of dissatisfaction and unrest. Greed, our desire for material possessions, status, or pleasure can lead to constant craving. This craving keeps us restless, always chasing after something we do not have. We believe that by obtaining more, we will find happiness, but this desire only leads to more dissatisfaction. Hatred. When we feel anger or resentment toward others, it creates inner turmoil. Hatred is a destructive emotion that prevents us from finding peace, as it binds us to negative feelings that cause suffering both for ourselves and others. Delusion. This refers to our misunderstanding of the nature of life, the self, and the world around us. We often live in a state of ignorance, not seeing things as they truly are. This delusion keeps us attached to false beliefs, creating confusion and unrest in the mind. Buddha's teachings provide us with a path to overcome these obstacles. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating positive mental habits, we can gradually purify the mind, allowing peace to arise naturally. The practice of meditation for inner peace. One of the most effective practices for attaining inner peace is meditation. Meditation allows us to quiet the mind, observe our thoughts, and detach from the constant stream of mental chatter. By practicing mindfulness and concentration, we can gradually calm the mind and release negative emotions. In Buddhist tradition, vipassana meditation, or insight meditation, is commonly used to develop awareness and cultivate a peaceful state of mind. A simple form of meditation can be practiced daily, even if only for a few minutes. Here's a basic guide to getting started. Find a quiet space, choose a place where you can sit comfortably without distractions. It could be anywhere, your room, a park, or even a corner in your home. Sit comfortably, sit in a position that is comfortable but alert. You can sit cross-legged on the floor, on a cushion, or on a chair with your feet flat on the ground. Keep your back straight and your hands resting on your lap or knees. Focus on your breath, close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Take a deep inhale and exhale slowly, allowing your body to relax with each breath. Focus on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. Observe your thoughts, as you meditate. Thoughts will arise. Instead of getting caught up in them, simply observe them as they come and go. Acknowledge them without judgment and return your focus to your breath. Let go of negative emotions. If any negative emotions, such as anger or anxiety, arise during meditation, simply acknowledge them and let them go. Do not attach to them or let them control you. Allow them to pass by like clouds in the sky. End with gratitude. After meditating, take a moment to feel grateful for the peace and clarity you have cultivated, no matter how brief it may be. Regular meditation practice helps us become more mindful and aware of our mental states. By observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment, we create space for peace to arise naturally. Over time, this practice strengthens the mind, allowing us to navigate life with greater calmness and equanimity. The role of compassion and loving kindness. Another key element in cultivating inner peace is practicing compassion and loving kindness, metta. Buddha taught that true peace comes not only from calming the mind but also from developing a heart full of compassion for others. When we let go of selfish desires and develop an open, loving heart, we create a deep sense of harmony within ourselves. Compassion allows us to release feelings of anger and resentment toward others. Instead of reacting with hatred or judgment, we can respond with understanding and kindness. When we offer love and compassion to others, we not only help alleviate their suffering, but we also cultivate peace within our own hearts. Buddha's teachings on loving kindness encourage us to extend compassion to all beings, not just those we know, but also strangers, and even those we may consider our enemies. By practicing loving kindness meditation, we can transform our hearts and minds, replacing negativity with love and acceptance. Living with inner peace in daily life. While meditation and mindfulness practices are essential for cultivating inner peace, it is important to bring this peace into our daily lives. In Buddhism, it is believed that true peace is not just found on the meditation cushion but in every action we take. We can practice peace in our daily interactions by being present, calm, and kind. Whether we are at work, with family, or out in the world, we can choose to respond with patience and understanding rather than reacting impulsively. By doing so, we contribute to our own peace and to the peace of those around us. The key to happiness, according to Buddha, is not found in external achievements or material possessions, but in the peace we cultivate within. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and compassion, we can purify the mind and experience the tranquility that leads to true happiness. When our hearts are at peace, we are able to live with greater clarity, joy, and contentment. As Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The peace we seek is already within us, it is simply a matter of recognizing it and allowing it to flourish. Love and gratitude, the power of sharing. Buddha emphasized the transformative power of love and gratitude. According to Buddhist teachings, happiness is not something that we possess solely for ourselves, but rather something that grows and expands when shared with others. True happiness comes not from accumulating material wealth or external achievements but from cultivating love and appreciation for both ourselves and others. By embracing love, compassion, and gratitude, we invite joy and fulfillment into our lives and create a ripple effect of positivity that can impact the world around us. The Buddhist concept of love and compassion. In Buddhism, the concept of love is more profound than simply affection or attachment. Love, in its purest form, is a compassionate and selfless concern for the well-being of others. It is not dependent on receiving anything in return but exists for the sake of others' happiness and peace. This kind of love is often referred to as metta or loving kindness, which is one of the 4 divine abodes or brahmaviharas. Along with karuna, compassion, mudita, sympathetic joy, and upekkha, equanimity. Metta is a state of mind that encourages boundless love and care toward all living beings, without distinction or expectation. Buddha taught that when we practice metta, we do not limit our love to those we like or those close to us. Instead, we extend it to all sentient beings, including those we may not know or even those we may have conflicts with. Loving kindness is an inclusive and unconditional love, one that transcends boundaries and biases. This love brings peace and healing to both ourselves and others. In the Metta Sutta, a well-known Buddhist scripture, Buddha explains how to cultivate this kind of love. He encourages us to develop loving kindness toward ourselves first, then to extend it outward toward others, including loved ones, strangers, and even those with whom we may have conflict. The practice of metta helps to dissolve hatred, anger, and fear, replacing them with warmth, compassion, and understanding. Gratitude in Buddhism. Gratitude, like love, is central to Buddhist teachings. Buddha taught that developing a sense of gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a peaceful and contented mind. Gratitude is the recognition of the goodness and kindness that we receive from others and the world around us. When we practice gratitude, we acknowledge the gifts and blessings that we have, no matter how small they may seem. This practice shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, promoting a mindset of abundance and contentment. In the Dhammapada, Buddha says, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little, and if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick, and if we got sick, at least we didn't die." This teaching reflects the idea that gratitude should be practiced in all circumstances, even when life seems difficult. By focusing on the positive aspects of life, we train our minds to see the world in a way that is uplifting and joyful. Gratitude is also an antidote to suffering. In Buddhist philosophy, suffering arises from desire, attachment, and ignorance. When we feel a lack of gratitude, we focus on what we do not have or what we wish to possess, which perpetuates feelings of discontentment and frustration. However, when we practice gratitude, we shift our perspective. Instead of seeking outside sources for happiness, we recognize the value of the present moment and the blessings already present in our lives. The practice of loving kindness and gratitude. Buddha's teachings encourage us to integrate love and gratitude into our daily lives, making them practices that can transform our mindset and our relationships with others. Below are some simple practices to help develop these qualities. Loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana. One of the most effective ways to cultivate love and compassion is through loving kindness meditation. This practice involves silently repeating phrases such as, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings live with ease." Start by sending these well wishes to yourself, then extend them to others in widening circles, your loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those you may have difficulty with. This meditation helps to break down the walls of animosity and opens the heart to all beings. Daily gratitude practice. Begin and end each day with a moment of gratitude. Before you start your day, take a few moments to reflect on what you are grateful for, whether it's the food on your table, the roof over your head, the kindness of a friend, or simply the opportunity to be alive. Similarly, at the end of the day, reflect on the positive moments, the small victories, and the moments of peace you experienced. This simple practice shifts your attention from what is lacking to what is abundant. Acts of kindness, love and gratitude are not just concepts but practices that must be embodied in our actions. Look for opportunities each day to show kindness to others. A smile, a kind word, or a helping hand can make a difference in someone's life. The more we give love, the more it grows within us. Expressing thanks. Take time every day to express thanks to those around you, whether it's a colleague, a family member, or even a stranger who has helped you. This simple act of acknowledgement deepens our connection with others and reinforces our sense of gratitude. The ripple effect of love and gratitude. When we practice love and gratitude, we create a ripple effect that extends beyond ourselves. Our actions, thoughts, and words have a profound impact on those around us. By showing love and gratitude to others, we inspire them to do the same. This creates a cycle of positivity, compassion, and connection that spreads throughout our communities and the world. Buddha taught that the practice of loving kindness and gratitude is not just about individual happiness but about contributing to the collective well-being of all beings. The more we share love, the more it multiplies. In doing so, we not only enhance our own lives but also contribute to the happiness and peace of others. The teachings of Buddha remind us that love and gratitude are two of the most powerful forces we can cultivate to bring peace and happiness into our lives. Happiness, according to Buddhism. is not a destination but a journey of selflessness, connection, and appreciation. By practicing love and gratitude daily, we can transform our minds and hearts, enrich our relationships, and contribute to the greater good of the world. As Buddha said, happiness comes not from what we get, but from what we give. When we give love, compassion, and gratitude, we open the door to true happiness, not only for ourselves but for all beings. Letting go, the key to emotional liberation. One of the most profound teachings of Buddha is the concept of letting go or non-attachment. In our daily lives, we often find ourselves clinging to the past, holding on to memories, emotions, or situations that no longer serve our well-being or growth. These attachments can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds, preventing us from finding peace and happiness. Buddha's teachings encourage us to release these attachments and practice the art of letting go. Letting go is not about resigning from life or abandoning what we value. It is about releasing the burden of clinging to things that keep us from living fully in the present. By letting go, we free ourselves from emotional suffering and allow ourselves to experience the fullness of life as it is. This process of letting go is deeply tied to the Buddhist concept of impermanence, anicca, which teaches us that everything in life is transient and ever-changing. The nature of attachment in Buddhism. In Buddhist philosophy, attachment is considered one of the primary causes of suffering. The Buddha taught that we cling to things, people, and experiences because we believe they will provide us with lasting happiness or security. However, when we become attached to them, we begin to depend on them for our sense of well-being. This attachment creates a false sense of stability, leading to frustration, anxiety, and disappointment when the inevitable changes or losses occur. Buddha outlined the Four Noble Truths, which include the recognition that suffering, dukkha, is an inherent part of life. And the cause of this suffering is attachment. Attachment is born from ignorance, the ignorance of the true nature of reality, which is impermanent and interconnected. When we cling to things, we do so out of fear, desire, or a sense of insecurity. We long to hold on to what we have, even though deep down, we know that nothing lasts forever. The Buddha's teaching on letting go. Buddha's teachings on letting go are centered on cultivating non-attachment and mindfulness. In the Dhammapada, he states, "He who clings to the past will not see the truth." This statement reminds us that the past is gone, and it is futile to hold on to it. The present moment is all that we have. And when we cling to past experiences or emotions, we miss out on the beauty and opportunities of the present. Letting go, according to Buddha, involves understanding that nothing in life is permanent. By accepting the impermanence of all things, we can learn to release our attachments and embrace change with equanimity. This process requires mindfulness, or the practice of being fully present in each moment without judgment or attachment. When we are mindful, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. We learn to accept and experience things as they are, rather than trying to control or hold on to them. Buddha also taught the importance of detachment, which is not the same as indifference or apathy. Detachment is the ability to maintain a sense of peace and inner freedom while engaging with the world. It is a practice of releasing our emotional dependence on external circumstances and learning to find contentment from within. This practice of detachment allows us to respond to life with wisdom and compassion, without being driven by fear, desire, or attachment. The role of suffering in letting go. In Buddhism, suffering is seen as a natural and inevitable part of life. However, suffering is not meant to be feared or avoided. Instead, it is through suffering that we are given the opportunity to practice letting go and cultivating wisdom. When we experience pain, loss, or disappointment, it serves as a reminder that everything is impermanent and subject to change. These experiences challenge us to let go of our attachments to people, things, and outcomes that we thought would bring us lasting happiness. The Buddha taught that suffering is not something to be resisted, but something to be understood. When we face challenges in life, we are invited to examine our attachments and see how they contribute to our suffering. Through this process of self-inquiry, we can begin to understand the root causes of our emotional pain and work towards releasing those attachments. In doing so, we create space for healing, peace, and inner freedom. Practical steps to letting go. While the concept of letting go may seem abstract or difficult, Buddha's teachings provide practical tools that we can use to cultivate non-attachment and emotional liberation. Here are some steps to help us on this path. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the foundation of letting go. By developing mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment or attachment. When we notice ourselves clinging to a thought or emotion, we can simply acknowledge it and let it pass. By observing our experiences without becoming entangled in them, we can create a sense of inner freedom and peace. Cultivate awareness of impermanence. Buddha's teaching of impermanence, anicca, is essential to the practice of letting go. By reminding ourselves that all things, including our thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances, are temporary, we can learn to release our attachment to them. When we experience pain or discomfort, we can remind ourselves that it is temporary and will eventually pass. Let go of control. One of the most common sources of suffering is the desire to control everything. We try to control our environment, our relationships, and even our own emotions. However, control is an illusion. And the more we try to hold on to things, the more we create resistance and suffering. By letting go of the need to control and allowing life to unfold naturally, we can find greater peace and acceptance. Embrace forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or past hurts is a form of attachment that keeps us stuck in emotional pain. Forgiveness is a powerful practice of letting go. When we forgive ourselves and others, we release the emotional burden of resentment and anger. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions, but it is a way to free ourselves from the past and move forward with a peaceful heart. Focus on the present moment. The present moment is the only moment we truly have. When we focus our attention on the present, we stop worrying about the past or the future. We can appreciate the simple joys of life, such as a warm cup of tea, a peaceful walk, or a kind word from a friend. By living fully in the present moment, we can let go of the need to hold on to anything and simply enjoy life as it is. The freedom of letting go. The practice of letting go is a powerful tool for emotional liberation and inner peace. By releasing our attachments to the past, to our desires, and to our expectations, we open ourselves up to the freedom of the present moment. Letting go does not mean giving up on life, it means embracing life with open hands, free from the burdens of attachment and expectation. When we practice letting go, we allow ourselves to experience life fully and authentically. We no longer live in fear of loss or disappointment, but instead, we embrace the beauty and impermanence of all things. In this way, letting go becomes not just a practice of releasing but a practice of living with greater wisdom, compassion, and joy. As Buddha wisely said, the root of suffering is attachment. By practicing non-attachment and letting go, we can free ourselves from the chains of emotional suffering and discover the true happiness that lies within. Conclusion. Through the teachings of Buddha, we have come to understand that happiness is not an elusive goal, but rather the natural outcome of living a life of simplicity, peace, and love. Happiness is not found in external achievements or possessions, but in cultivating inner tranquility, appreciating the present moment, and nurturing love and compassion. By learning to cherish the present, calm our minds, share kindness, and let go of what no longer serves us, happiness flows naturally into our lives. Buddha's wisdom teaches us that the path to happiness is not one of striving or accumulation, but one of release and acceptance. The more we let go of our attachments to things, emotions, and desires, the more we create space for peace and joy to enter. Buddha's teachings emphasize that true happiness comes from within, from the practice of mindfulness, non-attachment, and love. These qualities allow us to live authentically, with a heart open to the present moment and a mind free from the burdens of past regrets or future anxieties. When we cultivate gratitude, mindfulness, and compassion in our daily lives, we align ourselves with the flow of life, just as Buddha did. Every small act of kindness, every moment of awareness, and every time we let go of unnecessary worries, we are moving closer to the happiness that Buddha speaks of, a happiness that is not dependent on anything outside of ourselves. It is a state of being that arises from within, rooted in the understanding of impermanence, the acceptance of suffering, and the embracing of joy in its simplest form. As we reflect on these teachings, it becomes clear that happiness is not a distant dream, but a way of living. It is found in each present moment, in the quiet stillness of our hearts, and in the genuine connections we share with others. The practice of Buddhist principles invites us to live in harmony with ourselves and the world, finding peace in the midst of life's challenges, and embracing the beauty of impermanence. Thank you for watching this video. If you found these lessons helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss upcoming videos on life lessons from Buddhism. May you always find peace and happiness in each moment of your life.